Raise your hand if I have your permission to be 100% transparent and probably a little vulnerable too. Okay, good. The truth is, this is my fourth time trying to film this video. The first time I was just all over the place. The second time I was having technical difficulties. The third time I was just in my head. The fourth time is going to be a charm. We're going to get through this video, and I am very aware that I may lose followers, I may lose subscribers, but that's fine because I have got to reach my people. The beautiful thing about personal branding and entrepreneurship is that it's a constant refinement process. We are always learning. I don't need to be the smartest person in the room. I love to be around other people who honestly make me feel stupid because that's how I learn. If you are new here, if this is your first time seeing me, hi, I'm Cheri, owner of Cheri Cobb Creative and High Value Providers, and I partner with established aesthetic practices to consistently attract quality clients. And y'all, my business is changing. I am no longer offering marketing services, and we're going to get into that in this video. Now, another thing, it's not going to be a typical style video. You guys know I usually have a topic, I have an outline, and I run a very strict program. But in this video, like I said, I'm just talking because I more so want to tell you guys how my business is changing, what I've been experiencing these last 5 years being in entrepreneurship. So what if I told you that patients are not booking with you because you're not memorable? Or what if I told you that it's not your pricing, but it's your positioning? What if I told you that there are hidden signals in your marketing that could be the very reason why you're attracting price shoppers? Well, if all of this sounds like conversations that you want to have, then HVP is where you want to be. High Value Providers is my newest community where we talk all things patient attraction, buyer psychology, and how you could be attracting price shoppers and you don't even know it. Anyways, to get inside the room, all you got to do is use the link in the description box below, and I'll see you inside. Having a concierge marketing company this entire time, and most importantly, where my business is going. I also want to say this. I am not complaining. I am very grateful. I thank God each and every day for blessing me with the clients that I have, with this creativity, with this skill set, with this hungry mindset. There's not a day that goes by that I don't tell God thank you, because I am nothing. We are nothing without Him. Let's talk about kind of where we started and how we got here. I got to give y'all a little backstory so that it can all make sense. So, when I first started in the online marketing world, offering services for aesthetic practices, I only offered social media and email marketing services. Then I quickly realized that offices need more. They need more than social media. They need more than email marketing services. They pretty much need the entire digital marketing ecosystem. I didn't do everything on my own, but I had a team. I would outsource certain things to them, and I went from just providing social media and email to offering the full digital suite of services. And honestly, I think that is where I went wrong. However, nothing happens to me. Everything happens for me. This is all a learning lesson. When I used to get so mad, y'all, and I used to be like, oh my God, like I have the worst clients. Like, oh, what is this? Just kind of rethinking everything that I've built, because you know how it is when you work with the wrong client. It can be extremely demoralizing. Just imagine you have a patient that comes into your office and they get a favorite treatment you love to perform, and you know that you've produce results with this treatment numerous times. Then you just get that one patient that comes in and they do not get the results that they were looking for, and they blame you. But you know that person didn't follow up. You knew that person was comparing you to other providers. There was a bunch of red flags before you started treating this patient, but you just went ahead and treated them anyways, and then they did not get the results that they were supposed to get, and it's your fault. That's how it is working in this industry with different clients. When I've had many great success with so many different practices, but then you get those few bad apples that come in and they just They just make you feel some sort of way. And this is why I decided to make the changes in my business, because I realized after these 5 years of working in this industry, I realized that my approach, it works best with a certain type of practice. So I've changed everything on my website. I may pop up a screen here so you guys can kind of see what we did to the website. My screening process is a little bit different. I've added some questions to my intake form or my application because it is still application only to work with me. I'll still be offering the takeover. That's not changing, but the takeover is going to look slightly different because at the end of the day, my job is to connect the pieces. My job is to identify all of the hidden revenue in your practice. My job is not to make you go viral. And to be honest, I don't want to teach those types of things. Those are what I call $5 problems in the aesthetics industry. There's a certain type of med spa owner, wellness practice owner, dermatologist, whatever. There's a certain type that wants to consistently go viral. They're so concerned with social media followers because those are vanity metrics. And that's why I don't teach stuff like that. I'm not here to teach you how to go viral. I'm not here to teach you how to get more followers on social media because those are $5 problems. My job is to help you identify the missed revenue opportunities in your practice so that you can increase revenue, increase sales, and ultimately build a practice that you're obsessed with and you cannot stop talking about. And I can tell you right now, social media alone is not going to help you get there. So I'm partly the blame, okay? I'm partly the blame for this mindset. I have a great understanding that what we put out is what we will attract. And there was so many times where I was just talking about social media, talking about, how you should show up on social media, even taking you guys behind the scenes with me while I went to different client offices. And I was only showing you guys the content shoots pretty much. So many of you thought that that's all that I did. All I did was social media management. So when you came over to my website and you saw that my starting price was $2,997, you're like, oh my God, all of that just to post on social media. But really, I did so much more. So again, I am the problem. I know that the marketing that I put out attracted a certain type of client. Phase one. My problem at the time was I was attracting clients who had very limited budgets. And we know that a limited budget, it comes with a scarcity mindset. These types of practice owners, they tend to focus on the tactics. Honestly, they tend to focus on everything besides the results. I can confidently say I've escaped that type of client. Now we're in phase two. And this is the phase that I am diligently moving out of, attracting clients with the wrong mindset. They show up to meetings that we have with excuses, not solutions. The best types of partnerships are the ones who come to the next meeting and they're like, here, Cheri, look at what I executed. Look at what I implemented from our last call. This is what I tried. This is what worked. This is what didn't work. The victim mindset and looking for a quick fix and not a partner. So this is kind of the phase that I feel like I'm in now. And as much as I stress in my content that I am a marketing partner, I am here to work with you through the journey. I'm not a quick fix. And to be honest, it doesn't matter how much you invest in marketing. It is not going to fix your operational problems or your toxic work environment. And now I want to talk about what my ideal client going forward looks like. Number one, my ideal client going forward, he or she will be making at least $500K a year minimum. Okay, that's about 40K months. Number two, they need to have a team of 2 or more. And they actually have to like their jobs, not just paycheck collectors, not people that just show up to get the job done, but they actually need to be willing to go the extra mile. Because again, my framework, how I work with different clients, it requires that you have staff to help you. If I were to give you a list of patients and I'm like, hey, here, call your patients, you as the provider, that is not a good use of your time. But if you have a team member who's there and they like to take direction, they are manageable, I can give your team member a list of patients and I'm like, hey, call these patients. And for everyone that you close that you can get in for treatment, your boss is going to incentivize you. You need to have a team, and again, they need to actually like the job. That is so important. So that means you have to pay them well. Right, number 3, my ideal client needs to have an existing patient base, not struggling trying to scrape up clients. No, you need to have an existing patient base because again, a lot of my strategy, a lot of my framework is evolved around retention and trying to get the momentum flowing back in your books. How can I do that if you don't have patients already? Trying to mix my strategy with an office that does not have any of this stuff is like water and oil, right? It just doesn't mix because I'm trying to implement strategies with you and your practice that are just nearly impossible because you don't have the framework, you don't have the structure, you're not where you need to be in business in order for me to meet you halfway or for us to meet each other halfway. They need to be ready to invest in systems that support every level of growth. When you guys first get started, I get it. You're just trying to connect the dots. So you got this vendor doing this person doing this, and everybody just has their hand in one pot, but there's no accountability. There's no cohesiveness. And then also to add, when you first start, you need very simple systems, maybe a text back reminder, maybe an appointment reminder. But then as you scale, your systems need to scale with you. And I'm just gonna give y'all an example. I had a client one time where she was using her EHR for her email marketing related purposes. And I remember when we would log into her EHR, there was a horrible conversion rate as far as how many of her contacts were getting her email. And then after doing some digging, I realized that it was just the system just came with limited capabilities. It was dressed all up to kind of be like your all-in-one solution. Red flag, her emails were not even being delivered to everybody. So I suggested that she use MailChimp because that's what we use for all of our practices. And, she pretty much argued with me about using that. She didn't want to use it because of the cost and yada, yada, yada. That is not what I signed up for. When I work with different practices, of course, there are systems that we're already experienced with. There are systems that we already use. And once again, if you're not willing to invest in systems, then I may not be the partner for you. Last but not least, and this one is very small. It's a small thing to a giant, but being comfortable on camera. You must be comfortable on camera. And again, this is just my approach, right? You could work with another marketing company. They could charge more, they could charge less, and they'll never ask you to film a video. They'll probably just have you take a picture with your elbow up on your new $100,000 device and say, hey, let's post this. I know what people care about. I'm a psychology-driven marketer. So what that means is I am very aware that people connect with people. People don't care about your Botox special. They don't care about your website. They don't care about your pretty Instagram feed. They care about the confidence that they'll get from getting that treatment or getting that service or getting that surgery. They care about the patient experience. How do you make them feel when they enter your office? And then on top of that, it's the quickest way to build trust before the consultation. I was talking to one of our HVPs the other day. Shout out to Miss Roche if you're watching. And she pretty much said that she felt like she was struggling in her consultation. She was struggling to get them to convert. She almost felt like she was doing a lot of hard selling in her consultations. There are not a lot of videos on her social media that show her personality. And you guys, this is the quickest way to build trust before the consultation. Is videos. Because the thing is, when the client comes into your office for a consultation, you're not there to sell them. You're there to guide them to make an educated buy-in decision. The trust happens online, right? Throughout your videos, throughout your content. So because I am aware of that, A big part of my strategy when I work with different clients is for you to showcase your personality. I'm going to forever be the one to tell you everything does not have to be about your treatments or your services. Some things just need to show your why. Why'd you get started? Why you like to do things a certain way, why you don't like to do things a certain way. And those are the things that you need to be bringing online. Your number one goal is to build trust. Build trust in a world full of online strangers who have no idea who you are. And then, yes, there are different things that can be done throughout your marketing strategy that will educate your clients. But when it comes to social media alone, the goal is to build trust. You get them on your email list, get them on your website, get them into your office, get them to come to one of your events. You can provide all the education then, but on social media, you just have to be social. And so many people forget that part. Okay. Now, moving on. Now let's talk about another pressing topic that just kind of has me up in arms and ready to just blow the damn internet up right now.
Burn it.
What?
Did I say stand there and look stupid? No, I said burn it.
And before I get into this, I feel like I always have to say this, but I am not anti-AI. I love AI used in the most appropriate way. When it comes to my business, yes, I use AI. Like predominantly 90% of things are done with AI. But when it comes to Cheri, including her personality and her human touch, it's always there. I will never allow it to replace things or processes or anything in my business that I should be the forefront to. And it's the same thing for aesthetic practices. AI right now in the aesthetics industry is this shiny object tool, and everybody is obsessed with the shiny object. Everybody right now. And some of these AI companies, they are marketing themselves to kind of be your solution to all your marketing problems. And that is so far from the truth. AI should be used strategically in aesthetic practices, maybe to help enhance certain workflows, to eliminate tedious and redundant tasks. But if you have an office full of staff that are just sitting there on Instagram anyways, and you decide to go invest in like an AI to pick up your phone because the front, no. That is the worst thing that you can do for your aesthetics practice, your aesthetics or wellness cosmetic practice, because it straight up kills the patient experience. I cannot fathom a patient calling a plastic surgeon for a $5,000 breast augmentation or a blepharoplasty, and that's just like surgery above your eyelid or anything like that. And they're having to talk to a robot. Absolutely not. And this is just what burns me up inside. We've fallen into this place where aesthetic and wellness practice owners, they don't even want to hire quality staff, or they don't want to pay quality staff because the guy in the suit came into their office talking about all this AI bullshit. And now they're like, oh, well, we don't have to hire staff. No. So those types of companies that are like, oh, well, you don't have to hire staff, you could just use AI. No. I will never get jiggy with that. Big part of what I did, like my superpower in medical offices back in the day, was my customer service. I remember lots of offices that I worked at, they would literally try to keep me at the front desk because I had great customer service. The patients, they would always remember me because I always made them feel good. I would always talk about something personal, and that is how I got most of them to book. I showed up. I embodied the type of person that, well, I'm not going to say I wanted to attract, because I was just a 9-to-5er at this point. I wasn't trying to attract nobody. I was just doing my job and going home. But I dressed up nice. I did my makeup. I did my hair. I looked presentable. And then when I went to the back, when I became a treatment or sales coordinator, you know how many clients wanted to get surgery because they would look at me and I had got lipo, or I would, buy medical grade skincare and take care of my face, or I would do facials and post about it. I did cool sculpting. We posted about that. Now, those are the types of people that you want to have in your office right now. You want to know who your best advertisers are and your best sales team? It's your front desk. But again, you have got to pay them well. They actually have to like the job. They actually have to want to be there. And if you have a killer front desk person, incentivize them. So many people don't do this nowadays, but incentivize them, because for every look, if you incentivize your front desk person, she will be less likely to just hang up the call. She will be more likely to learn who the caller is, learn about them, figure out what it is that they want, and get them on for a consultation. But if they're not incentivized, they're not going to do that. They're just going to pick up the phone. Hey, how are you? They may or may not even introduce themselves and say what the practice name. We listen to phone calls all the time. And a lot of the times, the reason why your clients are not converting from phone call to booked appointments is your staff. So don't kill the patient experience with the overuse of AI, because again, clients don't buy Botox, they don't buy filler, they don't even buy a boob job. They buy the experience, they buy the confidence, they buy how you make them feel, and they will always remember how you make them feel. So in addition to me only onboarding practices that are at $500K annually, I am also making one more change in my business. I'm going to be working closely with medical professionals on their personal brands, ones who are interested in maybe starting their own podcast. Maybe they want to secure six-figure brand deals, or they just want to use their expertise outside of the treatment room. Okay. And why am I qualified to teach this? Well, because I get brand deals. I don't have a podcast, but I have a YouTube channel. And I know the industry is changing. And I've actually been getting a lot of people that have been asking this, right? So this is kind of where this idea came from. I had a client about a year ago, and she wanted to start her own membership, her own online community, because she would have so many nurses in her DM. How'd you get a medical director? Send me your SOPs. Where'd you order this from? Who's your vendor for this? And all that kind of stuff. And it was sucking up her time. And I was like, girl, no, we got to stop that, because this is not a good use of your time. So what we can do is we can create a membership. Not only can you sit there and answer all of these questions, but you can get paid to do it. And now you have another recurring revenue stream. If that sounds like something that you would be interested in, you can be any medical professional, dermatologist, plastic surgeon, esthetician, licensed laser tech, whatever. If you're not afraid to get on camera, you're pretty much building a personal brand already, okay? Because there is a very specific person for this task. You need to be able to be comfortable with film and video. You need to have somewhat of a community already. They probably just still live on social media. I'll be hosting a free live virtual event on August the 27th at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I'll be teaching more medical professionals how to use their expertise outside of the treatment room and still build a practice of your dreams while generating more income for yourself. I mean, who doesn't love that? It is a free live event, and I will leave the details down in the description box below. I hope you come. I hope you learn something. Remember that action takers are money makers, and the gold is in the implementation, not the information. I want you guys to leave with this. I am extremely passionate about what I do. I've worked in the medical field for over 15 years. Well, if you include the last 5 years of my life, it's been well over 20 years. Okay. With that being said, I remember working in these different medical offices, and I would always ask myself, like, God, why am I here? Why do I keep going from office to office? Why am I not getting, these higher level jobs? I remember there was one office I worked in, and I really wanted to be the billing manager. This actually was the job that I left, my last job before I became an entrepreneur. I wanted to be a billing manager. And it just didn't go that way. Why? Because God had other plans for me, and he already knew it. So in that time when I worked in the medical office, I didn't know that God had a greater reward for me. But I know it now, and I know my purpose. And my purpose is to help more aesthetic and wellness professionals with their business growth, with their patient acquisition strategy. But the thing that I cannot do, I cannot care about the success of your business more than you. We have to equally care, because the truth is, The more successful my clients are, the more successful I am. Bottom line. So that's what I want you to take away from this. I will never give up because Capricorns do not give up, but we are the queen of pivoting. And that's pretty much what I'm doing. I am here to pivot. I'm still going to help aesthetic and wellness practices, but I'm going to be very, very picky and selective when it comes to who I say yes to and who I refer to HVP. So you can either sign up for the full takeover with me, or you can join High Value Providers, which is my membership. Either way, if you're interested in working with me, I will leave everything that you need to know in the description box below. Thank y'all so much for being here. Thanks for listening to my TED Talk. Don't forget to come follow me on Instagram and TikTok, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye. This is what premenopause looks like. Why am I always hot?